There are 1.45 million people that have type 1 diabetes in the US, and 64,000 people are diagnosed each year, according to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Type 1 diabetes is a chronic disease in which one's pancreas does not produce insulin. This means people who have diabetes have to use a pump to manually give themselves insulin, whether it's before a meal, during a high blood sugar, and many other times. Some people also use injections in which they have to give themselves 4 to 8 shots through the day, along with many finger pricks. This is a vial of insulin and a typical needle that would be used, and then the needle inserts right through there. And then this is called a finger pricker, and it just works like that. However, due to recent technology, a thing called a continuous glucose monitor helps with not having to do as many finger pricks, and it reads blood sugars 24/7. This is what mine is reading on my phone. All day long. And then this is the device that I use to put it in, and it is just on this arm. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 4 years old. I went from using shots every day to finally getting my first pump. Here's a picture of the first pump that I ever used. Looked like this, and it had this big chunky thing that would talk to this thing in order for me to send insulin between them. I now use a tandem pump that has a cord attached to me at all times, except it's removed for showers and swimming. It looks like this, and it is attached on this arm. Diabetes can be caused by multiple factors. For me, the doctor suspected that I got diabetes from scarlet fever. My red blood cells attacked my beta cells, which are the cells in my pancreas that produce insulin. Basically, it went too far and also ended up destroying the insulin producing process of my pancreas. For others, it can be hereditary or it can also be caused by some type of illness. To knock down a common misconception, type 1 diabetes is not caused by being overweight, nor does it cause people to gain weight. However, type 2 diabetes can be caused by not having a good diet, which can cause weight gain, and therefore the body has problems interpreting the insulin, meaning their pancreas only works about half of the time. Typically, diabetes can be classified as an invisible disease. You might assume the kid in your class that shows up late or has to eat a snack mid-lecture is just slacking off. However, you can't always tell by looking at someone that they go through the everyday struggles of being diabetic. For those of you who don't know someone with diabetes, it may be hard to comprehend the seriousness of the disease. A major complication that can happen is retinopathy, which in layman's terms is deteriorating eyesight. Every year, I have to go to the doctor as they check that my blood sugars have been good and my eyesight is still healthy. Other common complications for diabetics are foot problems, sometimes resulting in amputation, nerve damage, kidney issues, and gum disease. These complications, it was why it's vital for diabetics to be mindful of their diet and exercise often. This does not mean that diabetics cannot eat the same way as people without it. It just means that they require more forethought about what they put into their bodies. Diabetes is an autoimmune disease that has to be tended to every day, and if not, can cause serious issues. There are people in your classes, in your apartment buildings, and maybe even your loved ones that have to manage this disease. Ultimately, I urge you to think a little bit more about how the people around you living with type 1 diabetes have to manage a chronic disease that will forever affect their daily lives.